Hi, my name is Michael Pink and welcome to Milwaukee Ballet's Bar Talk for Connect. The choices of which choreographers to bring together for this very important program, this is the beginning of our reconnecting with you, our audience, meant that I wanted to make sure we had a mixture of existing work and new work, and immediately I thought of bringing in Purple Fools. Mauro de Candia was the winner of one of our Genesis competitions. He came back the following year and created this extraordinarily creative, witty, humorous work. Mauro took a whole eclectic group, a combination of music, and put it together in what I call a traditional sort of European contemporary way. He used the dancers to really create these characters that were slightly larger than life. He put them in these absurd situations. So it's a situation comedy, effectively. He added elements of gory, extreme facial expressions and powder in the hair, which just, everything he did you would think is just an overly creative imagination, which definitely Mauro has. But at the same time, he has a wonderful way of challenging the dancers with his movement vocabulary. It's the type of work that requires real precision, extreme style of movement, and added to that, these incredible characters, this variety of music that is equally just humorous. It makes me want to smile when I'm talking about it. It's just fun, it's humorous, and at the same time, it's a perfect piece to balance out the rest of the program. I think one of the key advantages of presenting a volume of new work is that in doing so you are creating your unique identity as an organization. And so I liken the creation of new work as being totally, uniquely ours, Milwaukee Ballet. It's created for our dancers, in our space, in our time, and for our audience. So we are the first owners of this creative work. It's risque as well because it's new. And nothing comes with a guarantee, so you kind of sit there and hope that it's going to work. And I have to say, our track record is pretty impressive.
My name is Danielle Rowe and I am currently choreographing for Milwaukee Ballet. I never really contemplated being a choreographer when I was dancing. I really just enjoyed kind of being a vessel for the choreographers. It wasn't until I stopped dancing that I really truly dabbled in it. And from there it just kind of snowballed, and realized that I thoroughly enjoyed being at the front of the room rather than in the room, and that it fulfilled me in just the same way, if not more, than dancing. And then as far as being in front of the room and how I try and operate in a studio, I really respect people that truly value every single person in the room, and that they are seen and heard and feel seen and heard, and that I am mindful of how people are feeling. It's very important to me that there's a good energy in the room, and that people feel safe and secure, and then I feel like I can get the best out of them. So the piece that I'm currently working on is just really inspired by the music. The composer is Cécile Chaminade, a French composer who was, I guess, known for her salon music. Her short piano works were very successful or popular, especially in the States and the UK. I chose to use some of her piano works, and I don't know, I can relate to her music. I think there's so much range in her work as well. And so I really didn't want to bind myself or the dancers to any particular narrative, but just to use the music as our guide and to see what it told us to do. So it's very simply like bodies and movement intertwined, hopefully intertwined with the music. I draw from, a very pure ballet technique, and then, I don't know, mix it up with just the way that we counterbalance and the way that we partner in more contemporary works, and exploring that, but in a more balletic sense. So I guess it's like a fusion of a lot of different styles of dance. The piece is almost like a love letter to ballet, my love letter to ballet. I guess it's like in any relationship, you relate to the other person differently over time. Like you still have a relationship, but the way that you interact or it evolves. And I think for me, my relationship with ballet has evolved over time. I kind of think of ballet as like a Chanel suit. It's just classic and it's just well made and it looks good on everyone when it's done well. So this piece is kind of me coming back to ballet and my new relationship with it. We've been so isolated, and then especially to experience live theatre together and to feel like that ping pong kind of energy of the audience reacting immediately to the artists on stage and the artists feeling that energy from the audience. There's nothing like that. You can't replicate that. So I think everyone's ready and raring to go to experience that again.
Hi, my name is Darrell Moultrie, and I am born and raised in Harlem, New York City. I'm a New York dancer and performer through and through. As a choreographer, I try to keep it as diverse as my exposure. And I had a teacher who exposed me to everything in New York. And it is the one true blessing of being raised in New York. It's artistic mecca. My life right now is a reflection of that. I'm at modern dance companies, ballet companies, I'm with little ones, I'm with actors, I'm with singers. I've worked with tap dancers, Savion Glover, Marshall Davis Jr. I jump around and I really, really enjoy it. It keeps me on my toes. It keeps me fearful in a good way. It's that the butterflies of like never getting settled in one thing and having to jump around and put on different hats. I absolutely love it. And I really want to push that for young people. Try everything. Don't let people just say you do one thing and this is who you are. I think the way my journey relates to the way I work now is, number one, music. I love jazz. I'm using some jazz, a bit of Latin score, and I tend to use it a lot because I don't want this music to become extinct. On my watch, I want to make sure this music is celebrated. So the Duke Ellingtons, the Count Basies, these types of composers, I want to keep their legacy alive. Wynton Marsalis, he's a part of the score, and I think he's someone who's living, who is keeping it alive in such a beautiful way. Everything I do, all my work is a representation of growing up in Harlem, my mother, the music that was played in the house, my teacher, Miss Gwendolyn McLeod, the music that was played in her car, jazz music, standards, classical music. The other day, some of the dancers were like bopping and singing the tune, the melody, after rehearsal, and that's for me when I'm like, yep, this is exactly why we need to keep this music alive. I think with all the work I'm doing post-COVID is work that infuses them with joy, that infuses the dancers with the sense of your heart has to race before you do the piece, during the piece, and after the piece, to celebrate their classes, to celebrate why they started it, to celebrate the sacred aspect of the studio and the floor. And I just like rehearsals to have an energy and a flow, laughter, fun, challenging. And I think post-COVID, that's what I want to see. I want the music to fly. I also want the music to be gorgeous. I want the dancers to fly. I think we have a big responsibility to help people escape, and show them why art is extremely powerful and healing.
One of the noticeable things throughout the last 18 months has been the fact we've been denied the possibility of going into the theatre, to witnessing things live. And I think as we reconnect now, I'm very hopeful that we will all have a greater sense of appreciation of what it feels like to be able to be together, for us to be able to perform for you, the audience, and for you to be able to show your appreciation when you clap and you stand and you talk to your friends about it. Once those elements come back into our life, they will once again connect with us emotionally, and hopefully that we will feel a greater sense of enrichment by being able to experience this. Because there's no question, once you take something of great value away, it has a major impact on your lives. And the one important thing through Connect is we wanted to take the opportunity to encourage and help our audience to feel safe, to come back into the theatre, to know that it is all right if we remain safe and we use our masks and we just have a general sense of respect for each other's space, that we will get through this. And all the indications are that this is happening, that it is a safe place. So I believe that we can reconnect on every single level, and then we can continue to come together through Christmas and the remainder of our season.